You are 3 miles from the nearest exit. The outside temperature has fallen to 28 degrees. Your phone is showing only 1 bar of signal, and the engine has begun making a noise you have never heard before. You reach into the glove compartment searching for anything useful, only to discover an expired insurance card and a half-empty pack of gum. That is the moment many drivers never forget. It is the instant you realize that $2,000 worth of equipment beneath the hood means nothing if your trunk does not contain $15 worth of essential emergency gear. What most people never hear is that 99% of vehicles currently on the road carry emergency supplies that are outdated, ineffective, or missing the 4 items that matter most when something goes wrong. Many drivers believe jumper cables and a flashlight are enough. Many assume roadside assistance will arrive within 20 minutes. Many trust that their phone will always have reception. All 3 assumptions have cost lives, especially during winter, and they continue to do so. What makes this more frustrating is that drivers who willingly spend $80 on synthetic oil or $400 on premium tires often refuse to spend $15 on equipment that could help them escape a ditch at 2 in the morning. This discussion separates that equipment into 2 distinct categories that are often mixed together into one ineffective collection. The first category is the mechanical survival kit, the tools designed to get the vehicle moving again. This category comes first because 80% of roadside incidents are mechanical rather than medical. If the vehicle can be restored to operation, many other problems disappear immediately. Most people follow the same pattern. They purchase a pre-assembled roadside package from a large retail store for $39.99, place it in the trunk, and ignore it for 6 years. It feels responsible. It appears complete. The packaging suggests confidence and preparedness. The reality is different. Most of these kits are designed around a material cost of roughly $4. The included jumper cables are commonly 6 gauge. That size is often too thin to provide the current needed to start a cold V6 engine at 20 degrees Fahrenheit. The result is predictable. The cables are connected. A weak click is heard. The donor vehicle loses voltage, yet the disabled vehicle remains motionless. The mechanical reason is straightforward. A starter motor in a modern vehicle typically demands between 150 and 250 amps during engine cranking. Thin cables made from aluminum strands coated to resemble copper may provide only around 80 amps. Trying to start the engine under those conditions is like forcing a river through a drinking straw. The correct perspective is simple. An inexpensive jump kit is not truly a tool. It is decoration. A better solution begins with a quality set of jumper cables. Choose 4 gauge or thicker, 20 feet in length, and made from genuine copper rather than copper-clad aluminum. Expect to spend approximately $18 to $25. Properly maintained, they can remain useful for 30 years. An even better upgrade is a lithium jump pack. Quality models typically cost between $40 and $60. They are compact enough for a glove compartment and can start a dead battery 8 to 12 times from a single charge. Most importantly, they eliminate the need for another vehicle. That capability alone has helped countless stranded drivers in empty parking lots late at night. The next item is a compact 12-volt tire inflator powered through the cigarette lighter outlet. Usually priced between $15 and $20, it can raise a tire from 20 pounds per square inch back to 35 in approximately 4 minutes when dealing with a slow leak. A tire plug kit, often available for $8, can prevent a $300 tow bill and may save a tire when the damage is nothing more than a roofing nail. The final item is a genuine flashlight. Do not rely on the light from a phone. Use a dedicated LED flashlight and store fresh batteries separately to prevent corrosion from damaging the contacts. One preventive habit determines whether this equipment works when needed. Every 6 months, on the same day you adjust clocks for daylight saving time, open the kit. Test the jump pack. Run the inflator for 30 seconds. Replace any battery that is more than 2 years old. That single routine separates equipment that functions from equipment that fails on the exact night it is needed. The second category is the human survival kit. It addresses an entirely different challenge, both technically and mentally. And the first kit is designed to put the vehicle back into motion. The second kit serves a different purpose. It is not designed to restart the vehicle. Its role is to keep you alive when the vehicle can no longer move. Many drivers combine these 2 categories into a single collection of supplies. That mistake is often what transforms an unpleasant situation into a disaster. The most common misunderstanding is believing that because assistance is expected eventually, survival is only necessary for 30 or 40 minutes. The severe outcome appears every winter. A driver leaves the roadway on a rural route at 9 at night. There is no phone signal, no blanket is available, no water is on hand. The engine is left running for warmth until the fuel tank is empty around 4 in the morning. When the vehicle is finally located at 11 o'clock the following day, the cabin has remained below freezing for 7 hours. Hypothermia begins when core body temperature falls to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Inside a metal enclosure with an outside temperature of 20 degrees, no insulation, and no source of heat, A healthy adult can reach that condition in less than 4 hours. Experienced mechanics understood this. Veteran truck drivers understood it as well. They always carried a second emergency kit, separate from their tools, and reserved it strictly for emergencies. This is what belongs in that kit. The first method is also the most basic. A wool blanket, not fleece, not a thin blanket from a discount store. A genuine wool blanket, preferably military surplus if available. The cost is roughly $25. Among common fibers, wool is unique because it preserves approximately 80% of its insulating capability even when wet. The fibers contain hollow spaces that continue trapping air after becoming soaked. Cotton loses nearly all insulation once wet. Synthetic fleece retains about 60%, but can melt when exposed to a heat source. Store the wool blanket folded beneath the passenger seat. Leave it there until the day it becomes necessary. The second method focuses on hydration and energy. Carry 2 1-liter bottles of water. Replace them every 6 months because plastic gradually leaches over time. Add 4 high-calorie nutrition bars. The type commonly carried by hikers provides around 400 calories per bar and remains usable for 5 years. In a cold vehicle, the body burns approximately 100 calories each hour simply to maintain core temperature. Dehydration speeds the onset of hypothermia by thickening the blood and reducing circulation to hands and feet. The combined cost of the water and food is about $12. The third method is a specialized item that many people never consider. A Mylar emergency bivvy. It resembles a foil sleeping bag, folds to the size of a deck of cards, costs about $8, and reflects up to 90% of body heat back toward the occupant. When the Mylar bivvy is used inside and the wool blanket is wrapped around the outside, a person can maintain a survivable core temperature for more than 12 hours inside a cabin at 15 degrees Fahrenheit without running the engine. Add 1 candle and a metal coffee can. This is an old technique passed from one generation to the next. A single tea candle burning inside a closed vehicle can raise cabin temperature by approximately 4 to 7 degrees. It also provides enough light for visibility. The metal can contains melted wax and keeps the flame away from vehicle upholstery. That candle is that $25 secret mentioned earlier. A 6-pack of Longer Emergency candles costs about that amount, and each candle burns between 8 and 10 hours. Complete the kit with a basic first aid pouch, a whistle that projects farther than the human voice, and a folding knife. The entire human survival kit can be assembled for less than $50. There is one action that protects both emergency kits from failure, and it costs nothing. Twice every year, during the same weekend, used for tire rotation or an oil change, remove the entire kit from the trunk. Place every item on the garage floor. Examine each piece individually. Test it or inspect it physically. The reason is simple. Batteries lose approximately 2 to 5% of their charge every month, even when unused. Inflator rubber seals deteriorate from age and temperature cycles. Water containers can develop slow leaks. Food bars may lose their airtight seal where packaging folds. The only additional equipment required is a plastic storage tote with a snap-on lid, costing about $10. Label the outside with the date of the most recent inspection using a permanent marker. Set a recurring reminder on your phone for the first Saturday of April and the first Saturday of October. Spend 15 minutes reviewing the contents. Test everything. Then return it to storage. That one habit can save approximately $400 each year by avoiding towing charges, emergency tire replacements, locksmith services, and motel expenses caused by an overnight breakdown. At some point in life, this preparation may protect something far more important than money. Once the kit is assembled properly, a new issue becomes noticeable. On a cold morning, the engine may crank slightly slower than it did the week before. That small change is often an early sign that the battery mounted beneath the hood is deteriorating long before it leaves the vehicle stranded. Most drivers miss that warning period completely. They wait until the starter produces nothing more than a click. By then, they are forced to rely on the emergency equipment instead of avoiding the breakdown altogether. There is another reality that many people overlook. Building the kit is only part of the process. The next challenge is knowing how to use every item before an emergency occurs. The detail most often ignored is also the one that separates equipment collecting dust in a trunk from equipment that can save a life on a Tuesday night in February. You must practice with it in advance. In 1982, a study released by the National Safety Council examined roadside deaths across a 5-year period. The findings showed that nearly 40% of motorists who died following a vehicle breakdown already had functioning safety equipment inside their vehicles. They possessed warning flares. They carried reflective triangles. They had safety vests available. What they lacked was the ability to deploy those tools automatically while under stress, in darkness, with semi-trucks moving at 72 miles per hour, only 10 feet away from the roadside shoulder. After assembling the kit, conduct a simple exercise, drive to an empty parking lot on a Saturday morning. Shut off the engine and act as if the vehicle has failed. Open the trunk. Locate the reflective vest using only touch. Put it on without looking. Then walk 50 paces behind the vehicle and place the warning triangles or flares at approximately that distance. A vehicle traveling 60 miles per hour on dry pavement requires about that much distance to stop. On ice, the available stopping distance becomes dramatically shorter. Practice opening jumper cable clamps. Practice connecting them in the proper sequence. Attach the positive clamp to the dead battery first. Next, connect the positive clamp to the donor battery. Then connect the negative clamp to the donor battery. The final connection should be the negative clamp attached to an exposed metal ground point on the disabled vehicle's engine block. Do not connect that final clamp directly to the negative terminal of the discharged battery. Hydrogen gas can escape from a depleted battery. One spark at the wrong moment has been enough to rupture battery casings and spray acid into drivers' faces. This is not a hypothetical warning. Emergency departments across the country treat roughly 2,000 jumpstart injuries every year. Most occur because the final clamp was attached directly to the battery rather than to a chassis ground located 6 inches away. Practice with the seatbelt cutter using an old strap taken from a thrift store backpack. If it can be done safely, practice using the window punch on a piece of scrap glass. The amount of force required is different from what most people expect. The first attempt should never happen during a real emergency. Drivers who rehearse these actions once, even only once, perform them approximately 4 times faster during an actual crisis than drivers who have only read instructions. 4 times faster on the shoulder of a freeway can mean the difference between standing safely behind a guardrail and standing in front of a distracted motorist focused on a text message instead of the road. That is what is at stake. That is why equipment by itself is not enough. A complete kit combined with 15 minutes of practice on a quiet Saturday is what moves a driver out of the 99% group of unprepared motorists and into the small group that can walk away from the worst night of the year with nothing more serious than a story to tell. Take time this weekend to assemble the kit, inspect every item, and practice using it. Repeat the inspection twice each year. Keep everything ready, and when the temperature drops and the engine suddenly makes an unfamiliar sound, you will already know exactly what to do. Please leave your thoughts about this content in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.